The quicker you realize this as a new trader, the more headaches you're going to save yourself. And it all has to do with hindsight. The more I think about this, I don't know what category this video should be in. Obviously, when this posts, you'll know what category I put it in, because this is definitely something that new people to the markets need to be aware of. But for people even such as myself, I suppose I'm speaking to myself as I go through this. So veteran traders, it's always a good reminder about hindsight and about how dangerous hindsight can be in many, many different areas. And the reason hindsight is so dangerous is because of this right here. One word. Perfect. When you are looking at hindsight in regards to trading, keep in mind what you're comparing yourself with. So you're going up against you versus what? You versus perfect. You versus perfection. And I don't know about you, but I'm not a perfect person, and I'm definitely not a perfect trader. And if I'm being honest, I don't know if I've ever had a perfect trade, meaning you buy the exact bottom and sell the exact top. Maybe a couple times relatively close, but if I were to compare myself against perfection, guess what? I still screwed up the trade. How did I still screw up the trade? Well, I mean, if you look at things like this, remember the perfect trade. So a stock is down here and you buy. So that's the low. And then it eventually goes up. And that is, the high. And this right here is what you're now seeing in hindsight, right? So hindsight is showing you what actually happened, right? Because it's already happened. It's in the past. So you know exactly where the low was and where the high was. So you can say, I should have bought right there. Oh, I should have waited a little more. Maybe you bought right there. Thinking, oh, well, if I would have just waited, I could have done, and you ended up selling right there. And your mind starts playing games with you because, well, yeah, technically speaking, you could have sold up there. And what is that going to do? Well, for new traders, and for those of you that are not aware, I do have a podcast. And one thing that has come up many times with our podcast guests, and I did it myself, is you play the calculator game, which is all based on hindsight. You say, ooh, what if, and then you start playing like the perfect situation, or maybe an almost perfect situation, and you start plugging numbers. Wow, if I would have done that, then I would have made that amount of money. And what new traders don't realize is you're setting yourself up to get greedy. You're setting yourself up to put too much money into a position that you're not psychologically ready for. But because you're comparing things to perfection in hindsight, you're thinking, whoa, what if? Therefore, next time, that's what I'm going to do. But due to personal risk tolerance and other psychological factors, that's where people blow up their accounts. They get a couple winning trades, then they start playing the hindsight game with their calculator. Oh, if I would have just done that. Oh, I should have done that. Oh, I could have done that. Shoulda, woulda, coulda, all those hindsight words. And then they do that for the next position, but mentally they're not actually prepared for it, because when you're comparing yourself to perfection, you're not going to make a perfect trade. Maybe once in a career, maybe twice in a career, you'll make the absolute perfect trade. But I'm probably being generous at that. For veteran traders, the biggest thing that hindsight can do to you is it can start to rattle your confidence. And that's not what you want as traders. As a veteran, you know that confidence is very key. You need to have faith in your system. You need to have confidence to trade what your trade plan says the way you should trade. And if you start comparing things after the fact and comparing it all to hindsight, remember, and I keep going back to that word, but it's so important, is you're putting yourself up against perfection. And that is just a very difficult thing to be fighting against, comparing yourself to, because a perfect trade rarely ever happens. But if you're comparing your trade to the perfect trade, you're always going to be wrong. And that's the end of the day. That's what I'm trying to get across at the end of the day, is you are always going to be wrong when you're comparing yourself against the perfect trade. So yeah, it's fun once in a while to play the, I shoulda, coulda, woulda game. But keep that to an extent, because it's a very fine line where all of a sudden your confidence starts to get rattled. Or for new traders, the calculator what if game in hindsight, all of a sudden you're doing something that you shouldn't be doing because you're thinking that some sort of perfect trade is going to unfold for yourself, and that's just not how things unfold long term. Sure, the calculator game might work out once or twice, or heck, maybe even 3 trades in a row. But all it takes is for one trade where you keep playing that calculator game and you go win way too big and boom, all those winning trades that you had are now gone. So the point here, be careful in comparing yourself to perfect. And that's what hindsight does. So be aware of the hindsight games that your voices can try to play with you. And I'm not saying that you should never look at things in hindsight, but there is a fine line, and be aware and make sure that you're not crossing it, because that's where things can get nasty, both from a veteran perspective in terms of confidence, and then a new trader perspective in terms of that calculator game, and then getting yourself in some nasty situations. So be aware of it and be proactive against it. If you are interested in trading alongside me and other traders, then I do offer a private trading community known as the Inner Circle. So the two images that you see on the screen, the one image, if you click on it, it will take you to the Inner Circle page and give you all the details about it. The other is going to be a behind the scenes tour that I personally give, so you can see exactly what you are going to get with the subscription. So if that sounds like something that could add value to you as a trader, then go ahead, check it out, and by all means, let me know if you have any questions.